Musharraf spoke to me on 18th of January on the Newshour. That was the clip we played. We always said that truth has a strange habit. It just creeps out when you least expect it. General Jaswal, thank you for joining us. Former Army Commander, Northern Command. Maruf Raza, thank you. First question is to Brigadier Javed Hussain, former Pakistan Army Special Forces officer. So, you know, this now it's not about, India exposing Pakistan anymore. Now it's Pakistan exposing Pakistan. It's not about an Indian journalist asking Musharraf. It is about General Shahid Aziz, who I think till 2005 was commander of the 4 Corps in Lahore. He has not just exposed Brigadier Hussain, but completely exposed Musharraf and Pakistan. Is there any defense left on what you did on Kargil? Any defense at all left?
Arnab, if you recall, in my appearance in your show on Captain Kalia's tragedy,
yes,
I had mentioned that the Kargil heights were occupied by the Pakistan Army. I repeated this in your last program on the mines and beheadings and so on. So what General Shahid Aziz has said is the truth.
Yes.
Everyone in Pakistan, particularly in the Pakistan Army, knew that Pakistan Army soldiers were deployed. Now I'd like to give you a few details. There were 7+ infantry battalions on the Kargil heights, deployed across a frontage of 120 kilometers plus, extending to a depth of 11 kilometers. In these 120 kilometers frontage, hundreds of posts had been established. The smallest post was manned by 5 men, the biggest by 20 men. This plan was the brainchild of commander of FCNA, Force Command Northern Areas, which is, it was raised in 1972, and it is known as the Northern Light Infantry. And this FCNA was being commanded at that time by, during the Kargil thing, whose brainchild it was, by Major General Javed Hassan. He was the one who persuaded the Chief of the General Staff, Lieutenant General Aziz, that this is doable. General Aziz got in touch with Commander 10 Corps, based in Rawalpindi, Lieutenant General Mahmood. The 3 of them made a presentation to Parvez Musharraf. And incidentally, I know Parvez Musharraf very well. He was with me in the SSG. He immediately accepted the plan. So this group of 4 people came to be known as the Gang of 4. This plan was confined to these 4 generals only. Even the DGMO, Lieutenant General Taqir Zia, that time I think he was a Major General, was not taken in the loop. He came to know about this much later. The corps commanders were not taken into confidence. the air chief and the naval chief were not taken into confidence. All the planning, the first Pakistani troops to cross the LOC, crossed the LOC in December 1998. They carried on with their reconnaissance and selection of positions for setting up posts. Carried on till April. And the first time that the Indian Army came to know of it was in the first week of May 1999, when the returning Indian troops were fired upon. A patrol was subsequently sent to investigate. That patrol was ambushed. It was then that the Indian Army took nearly 3 to 4 weeks to determine the extent of the frontage held and the depth. They were in a position to build up forces from within Kashmir, from Northern Command, General Jaspal's outfit. And I think, as far as my information goes, they built up about 3 divisions. Now, what was the position on the posts, on the heights? There were no bunkers. There was sangars made of stones. There was no overhead cover. The Indian Army's artillery, I think about over 400 guns. When they came into action, these soldiers sitting in exposed positions were hit. And they started suffering casualties. In the meantime, because of artillery, Indian artillery's effective fire, the logistic supply line broke down. There was no resilience in the logistic supply system established for supporting the troops on the Kargil heights. Despite that, the soldiers kept fighting until their ammunition ran out.
No, that's
the food supplies ran out.
Yeah, so the point is...
They kept fighting
without
food.
No, what is the point?
For 8 days.
The point is this.
The
point is this.
Why I'm trying to give you all these details is because these details are perhaps not available with you.
Sir, I'm grateful.
what Pervez Musharraf...
I am grateful, but I want to ask...
I was just watching Pervez Musharraf's denial.
Okay.
He is lying.
Of course he's lying.
He's telling you an absolute lie that they were mujahideen.
Of course he's lying. But why did the rest of the Pakistani state and the Pakistani army also lie?
On the Kargil heights.
Why?
Elements of Bajor scouts, elements of Gilgit scouts.
No, sir,
all the others, as I mentioned earlier, there were 5 battalions of Northern Light Infantry and 2 battalions of, one was Sindh Regiment and the other was Azad Kashmir Regiment Battalion.
So why
these are facts known to just about everyone in the army.
Yes, of course they are known. But why is there no... 1 minute, sir. 1 minute. Now my question is this. What does this prove, Maruf? What Brigadier Javed Hussain is telling us. What General Shahid Aziz has said. And in fact, if I may add right now, that Colonel Ashfaq Hussain, who you may also know, who served in the ISI during the Kargil war, has actually he has actually said that on 20th March, ISPR. So he has said that on 28th March, Musharraf took a chopper and crossed 11 kilometers into the Indian side, spent a night at a camp with a certain Colonel Amjad Shabir and returned. After this,
that is correct.
After this, Nawaz Sharif was briefed. And this was, so my question is, Maruf, it's all stumbling out. I always have said it's going to stumble out, it's going to come out, but only 2 weeks back we saw a flurry of denials. No Mujahideen anger, no acceptance of the misadventures that they did. Why is it stumbling out? Why is it all coming out of the cupboards in Islam? Maruf?
Arnab, the first thing is my hats off to Brigadier Javed for his professional integrity and honesty. He has always maintained this line. Now he's come out with great details. Some of these details have been known to us. They've been put together in books also on the Kargil by generals from the Indian side. But what is really more important, that apart from everybody else, Major General Nadeem Khan, in January 2003, the GOC FCNA also confirmed that there were no irregulars, no mujahideens used in the Kargil conflict. It was a complete regular army operation.
Oh, yes.
If it was a regular army operation, the following questions emerge. That Musharraf continues to claim, and many in Pakistan claimed and trumpeted Kargil as a military victory for Pakistan. What were the military objectives? To cut off Siachen and to defy the sanctity of the LOC. On both counts, Pakistan ended up as losers. So it was not a conflict that they can boast about. But more importantly, the question that emerges is that Musharraf is completely discredited in Pakistan. The Pakistan army and some of these people who have come out with these revelations want to do away with the embarrassing legacy of Musharraf. Musharraf is trying to get back into play. He is humoured by various people in India and Pakistan as an alternative to the political dispensation in Pakistan. But clearly, Musharraf not only is a liar, but is a person who very aggressively argues his case, often on quoting selective facts. Now, if he argues that the Mujahideen were involved, would the Pakistan army then admit that the irregulars, the so-called irregulars, that they are army soldiers? And I want to ask Brigadier Javed this question.
No, I take that to Admiral Javed Iqbal, actually. Yeah.
Sir, yes, sir. But
Go ahead.
I want to ask that if some soldiers were dressed as irregulars, isn't this in contravention to the Geneva Convention's protocols, Article 43 and 44, which do not allow regular soldiers to hide their identity but to distinguish themselves? So it's going against Geneva Protocol. And more importantly, if those people who argue Mujahideen were involved, do they now admit that using Mujahideen has become a doctrinal shift in the Pakistan Army's approach in dealing with India, by using them as a front and claiming it's a freedom war that they are supporting? I mean, these are two important questions nobody in Pakistan has answered.
I put that to Admiral Javed Iqbal. I'm coming back to you, Brigadier Javed Hussain, in some time. That question goes to Admiral Javed Iqbal. Sir, you know, I'm not even getting into whether Pakistan Army overestimated itself, whether you overstepped, whether you were not in a position to carry out what you wanted to, etc. But on the question of a state admission, now that all this is out in the public domain, my limited question to you, Admiral Javed Iqbal, is this: should the state of Pakistan not end over a decade of denials and possibly lies on Kargil? Will an honest admission that we tried something adventurous and we messed it up, that we tried to deliver a knockout punch, but we got knocked out instead, not do the Pakistan Army and the government a world of good to regain credibility?
Okay, one thing is very clear, that one thing is very clear, that both India and Pakistan are bad neighbors. They have, you know, only to their credit, distrust, totally they have been deceiving each other. The first, it was started by India. It was started in Kashmir. This was followed in Siachen. The same tactics was followed by India in Siachen.
So my question is on Kargil,
This is a tit-for-tat reply which Musharraf tried to give.
So my question is on Kargil.
It doesn't matter. Everything is fair in love and war.
So my question is on Kargil.
So I don't think you should teach morality in this.
So no morality.
The question is that if you will continue, you know, exercising such options, then you will get similar reply from this side also.
But this does not work for you. So my question is today.
What is more important?
So my question is today, sir, tell me that everybody in Pakistan has exposed the government of Pakistan. It's not India's claims anymore. All the people who worked with Musharraf has exposed Musharraf. Everyone's revealed it.
So
what we have been saying all along.
Who invited Musharraf to Agra?
Sir, I'm not talking Agra. I'm talking about Kargil, about what happened in Kargil, about the line that you have taken and all people have taken. It's a Mujahideen operation. We got involved because of the action taken by the Indian troops. Now your own people are telling you it's not. We tried to fool the Indians. We tried to fool the international community. General Shahid Aziz says, sir, he says, and I quote, there were no Mujahideen, only taped wireless messages which fooled no one. He has said this, and he has said Pakistan army was used as war fodder for this misadventure. Sir, why are you still defending what happened? I'm saying, why can't Pakistan make an open and honest
There is no need to defend. I think
now.
General Shahid Aziz, I think we are very proud that we have truthful officer, you know, like Javed Hassan, Brigadier Javed, and then like Shahid Aziz.
But what about the state?
I think we are,
what about the state?
What about what?
What about the state and the army? Why can't the Pakistan state and the Pakistan army be as truthful as officers like Brigadier Javed Hussain and Lieutenant General Shahid Aziz?
Let me tell you.
And Colonel Ashfaq, who have spilled the beans.
Because we are not afraid of you. That is why we are truthful. The thing is that your government and your Indian policy have been all along misstating the fact.
Sir,
You used these tricks in Bangladesh, you trained Mukti Bahani, and then you denied that. And then you again, you know, in Siachen, you did the same thing. So if you get it, look, this is a battle of bluffs going on. You'll win. This is a war of bluffs. You win one battle, we lose another, and it will continue unless and until both countries realize that we should live in peace with each other as good neighbors.
Admiral, today is actually, you know, I think it's a watershed moment because entire Pakistani media is talking about why we lied on Kargil. It's not only the Indian media.
Yes, that's very good.
The entire Pakistani media is saying, why did we lie on Kargil? It's a subject of discussion in Pakistan, sir. I want to hear General Jaswal's response to you. General Jaswal is responding to Admiral Javed Iqbal and before him to the revelations of Brigadier Javed Hussain.
Look, this Admiral, just a minute, give me 1 minute.
Sir, 1 minute.
Admiral Javed said this thing in October 99 that Musharraf was a liar.
So what has the Pakistani state said? Tell me one case. Tell me one instance when the Pakistani government and the Pakistani army, the ruling dispensation in Pakistan have said our own president was a liar. Give me one example, sir.
Look.
Give me one example, sir.
Why not? That is you see, that is bravery. That
to lie is bravery?
Observe something, you say it on face. That is bravery.
So and to lie is bravery?
You have been denying. Yes, that is bravery. That if there is something
so there's bravery in deceit?
That is incorrect, you say it.
So why this bravery in deceit?
This is the bravery. If Musharraf, in my opinion, was a liar, I told him that he was a liar.
Yeah, but the government...
That I did in 99.
The government...
So, for me, there is nothing new.
I get...
whatever Brigadier Javed is saying...
Well, I think all that we are saying... We also know... We also know what Brigadier Javed... What we are saying is, what about the government of Pakistan? Say it once and for all. That we did an adventure, we lied. And we won't do this adventure, we won't lie again. I don't know, you know, it's going to help in the rewriting of history. General Jaswal, may I request you? You heard the Pakistani side. There's a justification, says Admiral Javed Iqbal, for what we did.
First of all, Brigadier Javed, I'm not Jaspal, I'm Jaswal. So I, at the very outset, as a retired soldier, would like to salute the courage of conviction of people like Brigadier Javed Hussain and General Aziz. All along, I have been maintaining that deceit has been an innate part of the Pakistan Army, and there's nothing to be proud about. What Admiral is saying about Musharraf, I mean, he's saying there are people who are telling truth and some are telling lies or whatever it is. What about the persona donna, the president later on, General Musharraf? He has been systematically denying that the regular troops were there initially. Well, all of us who are from the military, we know it for sure that in the beginning, the bodies that we recovered of Pakistanis, they were from the regular army. They were not the Mujahids. And it has been exposed. Hats off to General Aziz. I really respect you. We must accept nations do mistakes. America did bomb Japan in 45, they nuclear bombed them, and thereafter they apologized. If there has been a mistake, let's now, we have progressed forward. And you're not actually understanding that we are trying to move forward. And if in case this trust deficit in the institutional lives, which you are professing, well, we cannot take a step ahead. Whatever has happened has happened. That was a lie. All of us know it. Let's accept it.
Accept it?
Let's accept it and move forward. You see, if in case you keep encouraging this institutionalized lies, including Jal Musharraf, then how can we have trust on the endeavors of Pakistan? Tomorrow you say you vacate Siachen. You think we can do that? The trust deficit has to be removed. Please, for heaven's sake.
So General Jaswal, do you think a formal expression of regret and apology, a statement from the government of Pakistan is necessary?
Yes, I do feel so. Nations, like I said, do wrongs. And let's not be very sentimental about certain things. If in case a thing has happened and we've been hiding it, when the truth comes out, rather than justifying the lie, we should come forth with the truth and say,
Admiral,
yes, it was a misadventure.
Admiral Iqbal is responding to you, sir. Admiral Iqbal is responding. I want to... Yes, General, okay.
I just want to finish.
Yeah, go on. Sorry.
We should not do an act in the manner in which here we are having our Prime Minister in Lahore, and that's the time you're stabbing us in the back. Wasn't that a grave mistake? Haven't you put spokes in that wheel wherein we were trying to progress towards peace towards each other?
Completely.
Please, for heaven's sake, realize that.
Didn't you stab us in 71?
Sorry, Admiral.
Didn't you do that, the similar thing in 71? What are you painting that? You are holy cow? You think you are doing the same thing and you want that nobody should point finger on you. The fact is that if the two nations want to live in peace, they should stop calling the bluff like this. You did the same thing in Siachen. Why you forget that?
Are you suggestive of one thing, that you did this, now it is India for us to do something else? Is that mature?
So why don't we settle? Why don't we settle our outstanding issues?
Please.
Let's settle Kashmir. Let's settle Kashmir.
Kashmir.
That is the basic cause.
Admiral, let's not get back to the history of Kashmir. We are both aware Kashmir is an integral part of India.
Why
not? How do you justify?
Admiral,
that is the bone of contention.
Admiral Javed Iqbal.
2 seconds.
Admiral Javed Iqbal.
You have put the finger on the problem.
Admiral Javed Iqbal.
You are in a state of denial.
Admiral Javed Iqbal.
The Indian army and India
is a day. Admiral Javed Iqbal. Admiral, you know what happened was, I asked Musharraf a question. I asked him that General Musharraf, and viewers will remember that General Musharraf on June 16th, 1999, your foreign minister, then Sartaj Aziz, declared we have no forces in Indian-held Kashmir after President Clinton appealed to Islamabad to withdraw its troops. He said they are Kashmiri Mujahideen and just an aspect of the larger issue of Kashmir. Tried to make it a Kashmir issue, just the way that you are doing now. And you know what Musharraf did? He just said, I'm not going to take any more questions. And it is just providential, isn't it, Maruf, today, that his own top man has come and exposed. The issue is not Kashmir. The issue is capability. Issue is history.
Ornab, see, let me sort of respond to the points Admiral Javed has raised. There are and one or two other issues. The first point that I want to make is that it wasn't just Musharraf who continued to say that there were Mujahideen involved. I mean, on record is some of the meetings that were held at the Cabinet Committee on Security, in which our intelligence chiefs and then the Secretary of the National Security Council, Mr. Satish Chandra, initially maintained that there were 70% Mujahideen on Kargil heights and 30% regular army. And then after a certain amount of time when the conflict began to expand, here they reviewed the statement and said there were 30% Mujahideen and 70% regular army. So the Indian government continued to think it was a mix between regulars and irregulars.
Responses from Pakistan.
Only the army headquarters which, only the army headquarters in Delhi which continue to insist that the capability, the deployment and the fighting pattern of Pakistani troops shows it was a regular army operation. The second point, Admiral Javed, which he has brought out, I must like to also bring into light how the Pakistani military establishment functions. We have two distinguished members from there, but my understanding, and I've done quite a bit of work on it, is that the Pakistani military hierarchy does do a review of operations like they did after 71, what went wrong. The Hamidur Rahman report is there on record, but then they hide those lessons, and that's what General Shahid Aziz has said, that Pakistan never learns from the lessons of the past, and therefore they don't go public with their findings. The third thing Admiral Javed has brought out about Siachen. Sir, let me complete. About Siachen. Now, the difference between Siachen and Kargil was that Kargil was on the defined and signed line of control, which was agreed by General Hamid Khan from your side and General Bhagat from us in the Shichetgarh agreement. Siachen is in no man's land. Either army could have occupied it. We have occupied it, and like you have occupied most of J&K, which acceded to India. You want a settlement over Kashmir? I want to throw a question to you, sir. Your economy is bankrupt. You can't feed your own people. How are you going to look after the Kashmiris? And what is the settlement of Kashmir?
Admiral Iqbal takes that. Admiral Iqbal takes that. Maruf, 1 minute. We have limited time. We must get a response from Admiral Iqbal. He's heard you out.
I think
you put a bigger issue before him.
If we have gone bankrupt or not, if we have gone bankrupt or not, that is our problem.
1 minute, Maruf.
I say that if Pakistanis are bankrupt or not, that is our problem. But the fact is, the basic issues of water and Kashmir must be solved if the two nations want to live in peace. Well, without that, who is right, who is wrong, it is immaterial, whether they were soldiers or they were Mujahideens.
General Jaswal raised his hand.
Musharraf is paying the price. And Pakistan has paid a bigger price.
Sure it has, but this is what General Shahid Aziz says. He says Kargil, like every other meaningless war that we have fought, brings home lessons we continue to refuse to learn. Instead, we proudly call it the history written in blood of our children. Indeed, our children penning down the misdeeds with their blood. This is the words of Lieutenant General Shahid Aziz, not some Indian general. General Jaswal raised his hand. He wants to respond to you. Let's quickly wrap it up in 1 minute.
Shahid Aziz would have stood up.
He has said it.
Admiral, would you kindly allow me? You see, the core issue here is the institutionalized lies which has been spoken by the hierarchy, and now that it has been exposed. Let's not talk, you did this, we did this, you did this. Now, is it India's chance to go in? Now, let me also tell you, the Indian diaspora is indeed fed up of what exactly you all are doing. But we have responsible people and we do not wish to go in. We have actually reached our end of patience. Now, should we do it? Then you will do something. Is this maturity? Please, for heaven's sake, understand that we are only suggesting one thing, that there has been an institutionalized lies which has been carried out as late as the interview with President Musharraf.
Actually,
Let's
General,
accept it now and set the base for peace talks.
Actually, General,
let's move forward. If you keep insisting, Admiral, like this, then we can never proceed.
Actually, the fact is, we've had a candid conversation here today. I would only complete by saying no recrimination, no distrust. But the fact is, like every Indian knows, I am sure heart of heart, every Pakistani knows the truth, or complete lack of truth rather, in what Musharraf has said. Is an official admission required? I throw this question out. The jury is out on that one. To our esteemed guest in Lahore, from Karachi, from Chandigarh and Delhi, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure bringing the news out to you tonight. Tell me what you think of it. Tell me how we can improve this show. I will be back tomorrow evening, 9 p.m. with the News Hour. Good night and goodbye.